Hello everybody. Now jazz is one of the coolest style out there. Check it out.
1, 2, 3, go! Lord, your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Yeah. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable and helpful. Lord, your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable. If you can talk, you can sing. There is really nothing to it.
Breathe in, breathe out, add a little vibrato. You said anyone can sing, but you gotta be consistent.
Know your do re mi is just like 1, 2, 3.
You will be the best, and you will sing so well. It's time to sing with Frank at TBL.
Jazz singing is a unique and expressive form of vocal music, and it draws heavily on the improvisational nature of jazz. It involves the singer interpreting the melody in a free and often spontaneous manner. And this kind of incorporates various techniques such as scat singing, phrasing, and vocal improvisation. Now, while some styles or some genres stick to the script, like we have musical sheet and you just have to maintain or sing exactly what is written. Yeah, that makes it kind of rigid, right? We have examples like maybe classical music. Jazz is the complete opposite. Jazz, you have freedom to improvise. Okay, so like I sang in the intro, this kind of encourages your expressiveness. It gives you freedom, so you're not locked into one way to do it. You're free to express yourself. So some common characteristics that you'd find in jazz is, number one, like I said before, scat singing, and we'll talk about that later. And then we have phrasing, we'll talk about that later. And then vocal improvisation. So let's dive deep into it. So here are some key elements of jazz singing. Improvisation, I talked about it before. Improvisation is central to jazz singing. Jazz singers often change the melody, rhythm, or phrasing to create a unique performance. This can involve adding extra notes, altering rhythms, or creating entirely new vocal lines on the spot. Now listen to this. Lord, your mercy is abundant. Did you hear that? I'll sing it again. Lord, your mercy is abundant. Did you hear how I changed it? Okay, so that's like improvising on the spot. And I can also not just change the notes, I can change the tone as well, the color of the tone.
Lord, your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Yeah. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable and helpful. Lord, your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming.
Lord, your mercy is abundant. Did you hear? Lord, your mercy is abundant. That's like lowering the larynx to get that deep, rich tone. You can do the opposite where you raise the larynx to get a kind of nasal kind of sound. Yeah, nasal resonance is one characteristic you'd find jazz singers use a lot. The opposite of it, which is nasal resonance, is a characteristic you'd find some jazz singers use. So listen to this. Lord, your love is everlasting. Lord, your love is everlasting. Everlasting. Do you hear that? everlasting. So, Lord, your love was normal. Lord, your love is everlasting. Did you hear that? Let's talk about scat singing. Scat singing is a technique where the singer uses nonsensical syllables or sounds instead of actual lyrics. Yeah, so this is a form of vocal improvisation that mimics the sounds of instruments, adds a playful, spontaneous quality to a performance. So sometimes the singers, they kind of mimic instrumental. So it's sort of like mimicking musical instruments like saxophone. That's like saxophone. And some saxophone, the sound is warm. So by put in, some of them use hanky, right? Put hanky over or handkerchief over the mic to eliminate some of those high frequency and make it sound warmer. But in this case, I use my hand and also block my nose to make it sound more nasal. In some cases, they use the natural voice, but make up some, like I said, nonsensical syllables. There's no limit to what you can create, but you know what? I'd rather sing in tongues right there. Let's talk about phrasing. Phrasing refers to how the singer shapes and emphasizes the melody and the lyrics, often playing with timing, number one, dynamics, and breath control. So talk about timing. We call it back phrasing, where you delay singing it at the spot where the ear is expected to come in. 1, 2, 3, go!
Your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable and helpful.
Like we have, and your love is overwhelming. You see, it's stuck with the timing. But in jazz music, it's very common to have singers, play around the timing, maybe delay it, which we call back phrasing, and maybe forward phrasing, front phrasing. Okay, so like back phrasing, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, this is an example of a 4x4 time signature where you have 4 beats in a bar or a measure. Okay, so listen. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And your love is overwhelming. Now that is on time, but listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And your love is overwhelming. Now listen to the forward phrasing, which singers also do a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And your love is overwhelming. It's kind of nice. I really like it, but you have to be careful while trying to do phrasing. You don't want it to sound as if you made an error, because when you do it nicely and professionally, it's going to sound off the beat, but it's going to sound intentional and nice. Okay, so you have to practice to make sure it sits very well out of the timing. And then another common feature you find is blues notes and melodic variations. Okay, something like when I ended it, I went, yeah, yeah, something like that. You find some blues notes in there, blues notes, yeah. And when you hear them, you'd know, because they sound so unique. They sound so nice, sometimes difficult to find. That's why you have to practice, and that's why you have to learn your solfege or solfa notation. So blues notes, which are slightly flattened notes. For instance, when we have do, re, mi, right? That's normal. That's like the first 3 notes of the major scale. Instead of going do, re, mi, you go do, re, re, right? So that re is a flattened third. One common note as well you find in jazz music, especially if you're playing the keyboard or any other musical instrument that have notes, okay, is the dominant 7. The dominant 7 is a flattened 7th. Now let me play a jazz piece. Now listen out for the 7th. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna recognize it. So listen. That's it. Now I'm not gonna focus on where the 7th is or dive deep into this. It's not a piano class, okay? So maybe when I start piano, yeah, we're gonna do piano classes for singers. Okay, when I start that, maybe I'll show you some of these things. So jazz singers often bend or slide into these notes, adding emotional depth and complexity to the performance. So singing jazz kind of improves and expands your musicality. Most jazz singers have a high musical intelligence. Yeah. So another thing you find in jazz music is slides like, oh yeah, oh yeah. You see, yeah, like sliding through several notes, but using legato. Legato is a smooth way to slide. I didn't go, oh yeah. I didn't go like that because you would hear every note as they change. But I used legato or a slur, so it sounds like one note, but it's sliding down. Yeah. So let's talk about vocal range and timbre. Jazz singers often have a wide vocal range and a rich expressive timbre. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They use their voice like a musical instrument, like I demonstrated before. They have control over vibrato, dynamics, and the tone color to evoke different emotions and textures. So there's also interaction with the band. Jazz singing is often a collaborative effort between the vocalist and the accompanying musicians. Singers engage with call and response with the band, interpreting the music while responding to the improvisations of the instrumentalists. And then emotional expression. Like all jazz singing is deeply personal and emotional. Singers use their voices to convey complex feelings from joy to sadness, often experimenting with phrasing and vocal timbre to communicate the essence of the lyrics. So jazz singing offers immense freedom and creativity, like I mentioned before, and it continues to evolve today, drawing on its rich history while incorporating modern influences. So whether through traditional standards or innovative contemporary jazz singers continually push the boundaries of vocal performance. Well, I hope you learned a lot about jazz singing. Are you ready to sing some jazz songs? Are you ready to write some jazz songs? It's really, really cool. Just try it with the tips I've given to you as a singer or as a musician. Go ahead. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you and thank you for all the support. Thank you so much. There's also a join button that makes you a special member. You get a badge beside your name showing, hey, you're not just an ordinary or normal member, okay? So it's more than the subscription button. You click it, and also you find 3 categories that you can support this channel with. I'll see you in the next video. Keep singing, keep practicing. Bye.
1, 2, 3, go! Lord, your mercy's abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable and helpful. Lord, your mercy is abundant, and your love is overwhelming. Lord, your word is like honey, enjoyable and helpful. Yeah!
If you can talk, you can sing. There is really nothing to it.
Breathe in, breathe out, add a little vibrato. You said anyone can sing, but you gotta be consistent.
Know your do re mi is just like 1, 2, 3.
You will be the best and you will sing so well. It's time to sing with Frank Catty.